What's up everybody, John over here at Shore Cycles, and today we're looking at the SSR 140cc pit bike. So the official name of this bike is the SR 140TR. We just call it the 140cc pit bike, and there's two core versions of this bike. There's a standard wheel model, which you see in front of you. There's also a big wheel model. Standard wheels, you're looking at 14 inches in the front, 12 inches in the rear. On the big wheel model, 17 in the front, 14 in the rear. So you're going to want to take that into consideration when you're looking at the 140cc pit bike. With the small wheel, you gain some agility in the pits, smaller areas, or just around the backyard. And then with the big wheel model, if you're going to be in some more gnarly terrain, maybe riding with some other full-size 125 or 250cc dirt bikes, you may want to look at that big wheel model. It might be able to hang in those trails a little bit better. If you're comparing the 140cc pit bike to the other pit bikes from SSR, the 110s, the 125s, this is quite a jump forward in quality and features. We're going to walk you through all that today. So the first thing you're going to notice as a rider on this bike is the forks are upgraded to inverted forks, and they're fully adjustable. The standard SSRs just have regular standard forks. So with the inverted forks, you get much better feel and response, and then they're adjustable depending on the terrain that you're riding. Second, you also get a better shock in the rear that's adjustable. It has a clicker at the base that you can adjust. So if different riders are riding this thing, you can set it up for the rider's weight, more like a traditional dirt bike, or if you're going to be varying your terrain where you're riding it, it gives you that flexibility and features of what you might normally only see in a full-size dirt bike in a pint-sized package. Next up with the TR models, really basic one here, but you get thicker plastics. So the bike can really be kicked around, keep it for years. You know, if it's going from pit to pit, or friends' houses, or just get tossed around the backyard. The upgraded plastics are a nice touch. The basic models have a thinner plastic that holds up well, but these just do a little bit better job over time. Now with the 140 model, they expect it to be ridden a little bit harder than some of their smaller machines. So they did also upgrade this thing to an oil cooler right up at the front here. So if you're riding in hot weather, the oil cooler is just a nice extra touch. It increases the amount of oil in the system, and then also helps keep it cooler. So moving on to the engine, it is a 140cc 4-stroke, a 4-speed manual transmission. Neutral's at the bottom on these, so it's not 1 down, 4 up, it's just all 4 up on this machine. So it also makes it a little bit more accessible to a newer rider, helping them find neutral because it's right at the bottom, and then you just have 4 speeds all the way up. SSR does quote this at making 12 horsepower at the max RPM, so pretty good power for a 140cc pit bike compared to their other machines that are smaller and less powerful. Another great touch when upgrading to the TR model is these do actually come with a Japanese Mikuni carburetor versus just the standard China clone carburetor. Now SSR also does make a 125 TR model, but we've noticed that the 140 isn't just a bigger engine, it also has more upgraded features. Let's look at the skid plate. So the skid plate on this model is more of like a machined aluminum. The 125 model is a steel plate. We've noticed this one is a lot stronger. It's also going to be lighter. And then we've also looked at the brakes, and these brakes do look a little bit more equipped on the 140 model as well. And we've talked about the forks being inverted and adjustable. The 125 TR model has that as well, but this 140 has bigger forks, and it also has a stronger axle setup, more akin to what you'd see on a modern sport bike, where the axle actually threads into the fork. Now, rounding out the features of the SR 140 TR, you get a couple other little touches. The brake levers and clutch levers are a little bit bigger for better grip and strength. It comes with a full waffle sticky grip versus their standard bikes have a regular black rubber grip. We just noticed that these are a little bit stickier and softer. They almost feel like something you get from Pro Taper. And then lastly, the 140 model has a different throttle setup. So a little bit stronger and better throttle response. And this is another upgrade over the 125 TR model. So the 140 is definitely the most equipped pit bike that we've seen in SSR's lineup. Last but not least, you gotta put your feet somewhere, and we noticed the TR models have bigger foot pegs for greater stability. Now, what's this bike for? It's kind of an in-between bike. We see customers riding with TTR 125s and bikes of that size around the backyard. It's good for basic trail riding. We're over here on the East Coast, so there's nothing too gnarly. Can handle a little bit of rocks, but mainly think sandy, muddy trails, 2-track ATV trails in the woods, and then farm fields. This is a perfect little family bike for a lot of different riders. We see teenagers getting this bike, we see adults and mom and dad getting on this bike. Now this 140 does have a good amount of power. It is quite jumpy off the line, so I wouldn't recommend it for a brand new rider. But if your teenager's been riding and they came up through the 70s and the 90s, maybe a 110 or 125 pit bike from SSR, this is a good next step up in their progression on a motorcycle. We think these bikes are a great value, so if you're looking for some fun in the backyard and you're not gonna be going to the motocross park, you're not gonna be racing, great value here versus spending $3,000 or $4,000 on an equivalent 125 from another company. With the 140 from SSR, you get a lot of great features for under $2,000 at the moment. So it's a really great bike, and we really encourage you to take a look at it if you're looking for a fun family machine. So SSRs are available through a nationwide dealer network. We're one of those dealers here at Shore Cycles in Salisbury, Maryland. So get on SSR's website, go to the dealer locator. You can find one that is a dealer for one of these nearby. You can sometimes find these online, but we do encourage you to go through a dealership, mainly for the PDI and setup. You know, a shop like ours, we're going to do a little bit more than just assemble them. We're going to check the valve clearance before running the motor, get that shipping oil out of there. We include an hour meter for free. It's the only way to keep track of your dirt bike running time, so we get you an hour meter on there. And then we'll upgrade the plug to an NGK plug, and then of course make sure everything's working well on the bike. Now, if you have any more questions about the SSR SR140TR, give us a shout. We're over here at Shore Cycles. Like I said, we're a local independent shop in Maryland. You can get on our website. Links are all in the description below for more information on these things. Check out our other videos because we're doing a whole SSR review series. So this is just one of the bikes in the lineup that we carry. So if you're looking at comparing this bike to one of their other ones in the lineup, make sure you check out our other videos. So thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one.